Hello and good morning students. Once again good to see you in the 16th lecture of ours, semester 2. In today's lecture we are going to initiate a new chapter, a new unit in English literature. As you see the title being displayed on the board, unit number 4, My Point of View. Well, in the earlier unit we had points of view in which we understood about the two different things. One was a newspaper article written by Jatin Singh, and the second was a poem which was converted into a poem by John Godfrey Sachs, which was originally a model story about 6 blind men of Hindustan, in which we very well understood about the different points of view that were expressed by Jatin Singh and the other three types of people, that is the officials of the MCJ, the traffic police officer, and a passing by student. In the poem, we acknowledged about the different point of view expressed by the 6 blind men and the poet John Godfrey Sachs. Well, in continuation to this, we have this 4th unit given to us, comprising of 2 newspaper articles to read, infer, understand the different point of view about altogether a different topic. The earlier one was about the traffic situation and the observation of the elephant. In this unit, my point of view, we have 2 articles related to a very commonly debated topic, that is UFOs. Well, yes, UFO stands for unidentified flying objects. We will discuss about the elaboration of this word as well. Let us go through an overview about the unit, what all we are going to read, understand and infer in this unit. So it's unit 4. As you have the material in your hand, on page number 31 it starts from here. The first is the activity containing the newspaper article. Over 100 UFOs sighted in India is the first newspaper article, a short one, containing the activity given to you on the following page number 32. Then you have the second article given to you, UFOs in India, planes or planet, a matter of debate. So this article also is going to be having the necessary points of view given by respective people as we go through it. Then you have the activities related to that. Apart from that, we have an interview given by a respected scientist, Carl Sagan. So altogether 3 things we are going to look into in this complete unit, unit 4, my point of view. 2 newspaper articles to read and understand, and one is the interview given by Carl Sagan. Finally, as you approach towards the end of it, you have important information given to you on page number 36 regarding the light years and the other necessary things. So let's begin without further ado and try to read the newspaper article given to us in the first activity, activity 1, on page number 31, and try to understand what the unit is about. Over 100 UFOs sighted in India is the caption or the title of the newspaper article, which was published in DNA on Monday, 5th of November 2012. Well, we are in 2020, so this newspaper article is around 8 years old. The timing has also been mentioned, 1949 hours Indian Standard Time, IST, which is short form. Place, New Delhi, and the agency which published this was PTI. If I elaborate the full form of PTI, it is Press Trust of India. Yes, I repeat, Press Trust of India, a newspaper reporting agency. So it's important to cater this piece of information as well. Over 100 UFOs sighted in India, published in the newspaper DNA on Monday, 5th of November 2012, 1949 IST, and place is New Delhi, agency is PTI. Let's go through the lines and understand what is the basic idea given to us, or what is being discussed in this newspaper article. What is the newspaper article trying to tell us? Army troops in India have reported more than 100 sightings of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, in the last 3 months. So here it begins. The newspaper article, or the article, gives us the first information about army troops, that is Indian army troops. Army troops in India have reported. So we know that army is always on the move. They are deployed at the borders of the country and various parts of the country, so they have to be all the time alert. So when people are awake during the night time or during the daytime, they have time to view the sky and the surroundings around them. So here the army troops, it's not mentioned which army troop, but generally Indian army. So army troops in India have reported more than 100 sightings of unidentified flying objects. Not 1 or 2 or 5 or 10. More than 100 sightings. Means more than 100 times army people have seen unidentified flying objects. So they have been able to identify things which they've been able to sight things which are unidentified to them. Well, what does unidentified means? Something that is unidentifiable. If you see a helicopter or a plane or a drone flying, you will easily be able to recognize it, identify it, that see, a drone is flying in the sky, or it's an aeroplane, or it's a helicopter, or such things. But something, if it is flying and you are unable to identify it, then what should we call such things? We should be calling such things as UFOs, as unidentified flying objects. So here the army troops have reported to the Indian government, to the newspaper agencies, more than 100 times of having experienced or having seen unidentified flying objects. That's the first thing being said. Further, agencies including the army, not just the army, but there are other agencies also. Agencies including the army, that is DRDO, NTRO and the ITBP, which are a part of the intelligence thing, that is a part of army. So agencies including the army which come across in the army, that is DRDO, NTRO and ITBP. If I just elaborate these words for you, it is Defense Research and Development Organization, as you have the box given to you right at the bottom of the page, abbreviation and full forms, where there is a last word is mistakenly written as organization. It's organization. So just rectify the spelling of organization, ORGANIZATION or SATION as we write it. So DRDO stands for Development, Defense Research and Development Organization, and NTRO stands for National Technical Research Organization, and ITBP stands for Indo-Tibetan Border Police, the border which is shared by Army people of India and Army people of Tibet. The border of India and Tibetan border is called, police staying over there is called ITBP or Indo-Tibetan Border Police. So these agencies, including in the army, have not yet been able to identify these luminous flying objects. So the agencies who are responsible or who look into such things, they have not been able to find out what these luminous flying objects are. Luminous means something that eliminates light within its body. If I say a tube light is luminous. It emits light from its body, from its existence. Just like a sun illuminates light from itself. So something that illuminates light is called luminous, something bright. So here the army people who had seen some bright objects flying in the sky, including the agencies DRDO, NTR, ITBP, have not been able to identify what these luminous objects were. Some local people believe they are extraterrestrials who have come to Earth from outer space. So this is a belief of localites, the people who are living in those areas where such reportings have been done. As you know, local people can cater anything as per their understanding or imagination. So local people believe, so the word believe is very important to keep in mind. They believe they are extraterrestrials. It's not a proof. They believe that extraterrestrials, now what is extraterrestrial, we'll discuss about this, who come to the earth from outer space. So, in simple or common word, if I say aliens, you must have seen a movie. Even if you've not seen a movie, let me just refer this to you, Men in Black, which is conceptual about people from the other world coming and entering into the earth, what has been shown in that movie. So some people, some local people believe that they are extraterrestrial, these luminous flying objects which carry extraterrestrials or super intelligent people, they have come to the earth from outer space. That is what is being said. So you can see different point of view. So we just got our first point of view from local people. So local people believe it's their point of view. That is the title of our unit, their point of view, that extraterrestrials have come to our earth. Well, further we have got something more to read in this newspaper article. Army officials said that the 17 corps has sent reports to the army headquarters about the sightings of the UFOs by an ITBP unit. So one of the ITBP units have sent report to the headquarters. So the army officials said that 17 corps. Now what is corps over here? Corps means a subdivision of the army or a branch of the army appointed for some specific work is called corps. So here a numbering has been given, 17 corps, one of the branches of the entire Indian armed forces. So army officials said that one of the groups called as 17 corps has sent reports to the army headquarters about the sightings of UFOs, the sightings that had happened of the UFO, unidentified flying objects, by an ITBP unit. So who had prepared this report? ITBP has given reports to the 17 corps when they were investigating the whole matter, and 17 corps has forwarded the report to the army headquarters. So it was the ITBP who had this opinion, which was reported by the 17 corps to the army headquarters. Further we have reports suggested that these yellowish spheres, why it's called yellowish? Because yellow light was being emitted, so we are saying yellowish spheres, they appear to be round. So reports suggested that these yellowish spheres appear to lift off from the horizon and slowly traverse the sky for 3 to 5 hours before disappearing. So what was the observation has been mentioned in this report? The report says, or report is suggesting that there is something yellowish sphere, spherical thing, some yellowish spherical object is being seen rising from the horizon. Well, what is horizon? When you look at a great distance from the point you are standing to a great distance, particularly when you are standing on a seashore, you see the sea and the sky touching each other. This phenomena is called horizon. So the report suggests that these yellowish spheres, they were rising from the horizon, that particular point of view where the earth and the sky meets each other. It rises from that space, from that particular part, and travels the sky. It travels in the sky for around 3 to 5 hours, sometimes 3 hours, 4 hours or 5 hours. So this is what was being observed by the army officials who were deployed at the place. So reports which was given by ITBP saying that they travel for 3 to 5 hours, and what happens then? It disappears. That thing actually disappears. They are not able to see after that certain point of time when it's not visible to them. That is what was being observed, and that was reported in the or that was being suggested in the report that was given by the officials. Well, further, the officials confirmed that these UFOs were not planes or satellites. So two things were confirmed by the officials, that they were neither planes nor they were satellites. It could be man-made satellites that was sent to the space or outer space over there. So two things were confirmed by them. They had their devices to confirm them. We are reading about that as well. So the officials confirmed that these UFOs, unidentified flying objects, were neither planes nor satellites. They said, now what did they say? They said Army had also moved a mobile ground-based radar. Well, I hope you know what is a radar. Radar is an equipment that is used in the aerodromes and airports when any plane or helicopter or flying thing that enters into our Indian territory. The radar, which is a disc that keeps on rotating and trying to capture the location or the movements of flying objects in the sky as it comes into our range. So a device used by aviation industry to track flying objects. So they moved a ground-based radar, a mobile radar, which was equipped on a mobile van. So they said that Army also moved a mobile ground-based radar unit and a spectrum analyzer, another device used by the officials to capture or identify unidentified flying objects, to verify the identity of the object, whether it was a known thing or not, but could not detect the object. The device was not able to detect whether it was a plane or a satellite or any known flying object that was being tracked visually, indicating it was non-metallic. So finally they were able to at least know, indicating that it was something that was non-metallic for them. It means it was not made out of metal, because we know that planes contain metals when they are manufactured, when they are produced. So it was being said that their spectrum analyzer detector was not able to detect any kind of metal used within them and was being tracked visually. Next, Army officials expressed the concern over the inability of the agencies to identify these objects. Well, it was their job to do it, but they were unable to do this. So Army officials expressed the concern over the inability of the agencies to identify the object. They were unable to do this, unable to complete the task given to them. Some believed they could be surveillance equipments or weather instruments. So it was just a belief of some other people. Some believed they could be surveillance equipment, such equipment which were keeping a watch over our earth over here. Surveillance equipment, or they could be weather instruments, isn't it? Weather instruments that were installed in the outer space and they happened to visualize that, see that, which was eliminating light. Well, in any case, it was not identified by the reporting agencies. Sources said that similar reports were made 5 or 6 years ago about sightings of such objects, but the matter was never taken up at higher levels. When such things come into limelight, come into talk, come into discussion, it is never brought to the public, or it is not discussed at higher levels, because there could be many controversies, there could be many debates, things could get into wrong hands. Therefore, sources said that similar reports, have a look at the word sources, we'll be discussing about this word in a while. Sources said that similar reports were made 5 or 6 years ago about sightings of such objects, but the matter was never taken up at the higher levels. The higher authorities never discussed about this, never did anything to know about this as well. Well, on the adjacent side of this article you can see, look at the last line of the article we just read. It says, sources said that similar reports were made 5 or 6 years ago. Well, there is something to learn over here. Sources. Newspaper reports often use the word source or sources. Why? Let's answer this question. Source or sources without identifying the name of the source. They don't give us the name of the source. Where did they get this piece of information from? They try to keep it hidden. Because sometimes people do not want their names published in the newspaper due to security reasons. It could be that people do not want their name to be disclosed. They have the information, they have the right thing, but they do not want to come into the limelight, or they just do not want their names to be published. Some are shy about it. Some say that if our name is published, then we may have to face some kind of threat from people. So there could be multiple reasons why people do not want their names to be published. Therefore, newspapers use the word source or sources. Sometimes they even write from a reliable source, from an authentic source, because they are sure about it. Well, so the last line, sources said that similar reports were made 5-6 years ago, as we are reading in this article, say 2012. So you can imagine 5-6 years ago, similar things had come into limelight, but it was never published in the newspaper article, as it is being published over here in 2012 for people to know about it. Sometimes these are identified as anonymous sources. Well, we were just reading about sources. So newspaper articles mention like this, anonymous. We do not know who has given us this. So anonymous. Anonymous sources, which just means sources who do not want to be named. Therefore, when the article is written, contains information, newspaper agencies make use of this word anonymous sources. If your words were published in a newspaper, would you want to publish your name or would you be anonymous? Well, it's a personal question that you can answer for yourself. If you had provided some piece of information to the newspaper agencies, would you like your name to be printed in the newspaper article or not? It's a matter of choice. So think about it. In case you were a reporter or you had information with you related to, say, this topic about UFOs, would you like your name to be published in the news or not? Well, this was about the first article that we read, over 100 UFOs sighted in India. We already discussed the abbreviation and the full forms. We also made a slight correction over there. The word organization has been incorrectly spelled over there. It is not origination, it's organization. ORGANIZATION or SATION, both spellings are correct for us. Moving ahead to the next page, page number 32, we have the activity 2 related to what we just read. Although UFOs just means that a flying object has not been identified, many people think of UFOs as spaceships that come from outer space, bringing intelligent beings. They call these beings extraterrestrials. Yes, we just read about the word extraterrestrials as we were reading through the second little passage given to us in the article. Some local people believe they are extraterrestrials who have come to the earth from outer space. So let's discuss about this one word, extraterrestrials, in the activity given to us. But before this, let me just have a word with you about or an elaborated thing about UFOs. What do you, if I ask the question, what does UFO stand for? And you may say, unidentified flying objects. Let's take a word more about this. There are many objects moving about in the space. They are either sent by man or they are celestial bodies, that is, heavenly bodies created by nature, God the Almighty. As we say, the sun, star, moons, the different planets, the natural satellites of these planets. So, they can be referred to as identified objects, identified flying objects, isn't it? Identified things. But sometimes you happen to see or you happen to visualize something appearing in the sky which you've never seen before. So, such things are termed as UFOs or unidentified flying objects. Many times we are not even able to use different equipments to identify them, and therefore they are known as unidentified flying object based on certain terminologies. Well, this was a word about UFOs. What do the word parts, that is two parts if you make up this word, extraterrestrials means? Extra means what and terrestrials means what? So let us write it over here in the space provided to us and then understand as we write it along with each other. Well, let us write this. What do the word parts, extra and terrestrial, mean? Activity 2 given to us. What do the word parts, extra and terrestrial, means? The word extra and terrestrial. What do the word part, extra and terrestrial, mean? question given to us to answer. Let us understand about this little question. The word extraterrestrial is made up of two parts, extra and terrestrial. Now, extra as a Latin word, if you understand this as a Latin word, means beyond or not of. Extra means in Latin beyond or not of. And another word in Latin, that is terrestris, T-E-R-R-E-S, terrestris, which means of or belonging to earth. So when these two things are taken together, you will be able to understand this as an adjective as well as a noun. So let's write and understand this as a part of the answer. The word extraterrestrial is made of two parts. The prefix extra as a Latin word means beyond or not of. Beyond or not of. So this is what it means. The word extra as a prefix in the word extraterrestrial, and the word and the other word as a Latin word T-E-R-R-E-S, T-R-I-S, terrestris. So terrestris in Latin means belonging of or belonging to the earth. Of the earth or belonging to the earth. Of or belonging to earth. Well, if these two things that we have understood separately as two word parts, we will be able to bring out the meaning of the word extraterrestrial not as one part of speech but as two things. It is used as a noun as well as it can be understood as an adjective. So let's write the meaning as two different things, as an adjective as well as a noun. So as an adjective, utilizing the word as an adjective, we will be able to bring out the meaning. The word terrestrial extraterrestrial means of or from outside the earth or its atmosphere. Means of or outside of or from outside the earth or its atmosphere. Well, if you look at the word extraterrestrial as a noun, then we would be able to write such kind of a meaning as a noun. As a noun, the word extraterrestrial means means a hypothetical or a fictional being. Hypothetical means something that has been imagined about. A hypothetical or fictional, that is not real but fictional, imaginary, or a fictional being, which we simply in simple terms say as aliens from outer space. Well, so in this manner we've been able to answer the question, what do the word parts, extra and terrestrial, mean separately, and bring out its meaning as an adjective as well as a noun. This was the first question in activity 2 that we wrote. We have another question in activity 2 given to us on the same page, page number 32. We know for sure that UFOs exist. Yes. We have cited things which have not been identified by people, as we read in the article. That is why the article has been written. UFOs. Because UFO simply means unidentified flying objects. As we just discussed a short while ago. What is UFO? Simply means objects in the sky that we can identify when we first see them. But we do not know if extraterrestrials exist. We have no evidence about that. We do not have any proofs about that, whether extraterrestrials really exist or not. We are not sure about it. We can't say about this anything as a matter of confidence, that whether extraterrestrials are surely present on the earth. Well, people have many different points of view. We came across the article, isn't it? The 2012 DNA article, over 100 UFOs sighted in India, mentions several different points of view about the possible identification of the UFOs. Well, so a question has been given to us to answer. What are the different possible explanations for the UFOs that are mentioned in the articles? So let's write each one of them in the space provided to us together. Different possible explanations. What are the different possible explanations? For the UFOs, that are mentioned in the article. Let's write about each one of these in details. The different possible explanations for the UFOs that are mentioned in the articles are given below. The first point of view that we had, that UFOs are said to be luminous flying objects. Well, it's one of the point of view, isn't it? Given by people, those who have observed this, that UFOs are said to be luminous flying objects is one explanation given to us in the article. UFOs are luminous flying objects, are said to be That's the first explanation that we came across in the article. The second explanation, or the thing we read in the article, was about some local peoples believing that they are extraterrestrials. It's a belief, it's a point of view. Well, we are not sure, or we do not have any proper evidences about that. Who have come to Earth from outer space. That was the second point. Some local people believe that they are extraterrestrials or in simple terms we say aliens, extraterrestrials who have come to the Earth from outer space. Well, third thing that we came across, the third explanation given to us in the newspaper article is reports say that they are yellowish, isn't it? The reports that were given by the army officials to the army official headquarters by the ITBP. Reports say that they are yellowish spheres rising from the horizon and they slowly traverse through the sky. Rising from the horizon and they slowly traverse through the sky. For 3 hours to 5 hours. Before disappearing. Well, the fourth explanation that was given to us in the article was about if they are tracked visually, they seem to be non-metallic. If you try to track them, you will be able to see that they are not made of metals, they are non-metallic things. If they are tracked visually, And the fifth and last point that we came across is some people believe, people is not given, some believe that they could be surveillance equipment. Some believe they could be surveillance equipment or weather instruments. Surveillance equipments. Surveillance equipments or weather instruments. This was the fifth explanation given to us in the article about the different points of view that we came across. Of course, the army officials confirmed that UFOs are not planes or planets. Well, they had confirmed that they were neither planes nor they were any satellites. So, this was a confirmation given by the army officials. Well, this was the answer to the question, what are the different possible explanations for the UFOs that are mentioned in the article. This was all for today's lecture and the first article that we read. Next we have an article and an interview which we will try to cover up, understand in the upcoming lecture. Till then, have a nice day, take care, goodbye and see you soon.